So the 30 meters between a zebra crossing, as you approach it, the 30 meters approaching it, there are numerous things that can happen, and you have to show an attention to doing that. So anyway, I experienced the world with multiple perspectives. It's like different camera angles, only they are globes and they are fully immersive, and my internal experience is them folding in on each other. So for me, although I can see the still world, perceptually it is fluid. Now, when I drive, I might use 8 or 9 of, I currently have got up to 16 that I hold in fairly regular place. And I might use 9 driving, and I use the other, so I can meditate in one while I'm driving at high speed with really thumping trance music. I don't have a sat nav or anything like that. I keep on trying to find roads where I'm going to get lost, so I cause myself as much challenge as I possibly can, and then with 3 or 4 of my perspectives, I'm creating this wild shit that I come up with that people go, oh, you're gonna have to start smaller. I'm like, no, you would have to start smaller. Is there an activity other than music that you engage in to create? Maybe maybe when you get stuck, do you do something physically?
Well, being able to verbalize "I'm stuck" to another human is one of the most important things. There's something about the word is the spoken. Try that again. The spoken word is primal. I mean, even if you go back to the Bible, they say, the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. That's how important the spoken word is to the development of humanity. And so being able to speak to another person who has the empathy to respond appropriately and say, I'm stuck, is a huge weight lifted off of you, because it's like, okay, you've gotten that out. You've walked into that ghost, as to use my earlier reference, and found that it really doesn't exist. Because once you verbalize that, once you are able to say, I'm stuck, then you have accepted it, and you can take the steps you need to get unstuck. Many times the other person doesn't even really have to offer any advice. I mean, have you ever been in one of those situations where someone has been in distress and they've talked to you and talked to you and talked to you, and you haven't given them any advice whatsoever, and at the end of it, they think you're the greatest person ever, and you're just so helpful.
I have had that experience, but only after I learned about how my brain was different.
Okay.
You see, because basically, if you've got 16 versions going on, so minimum for me is 6, really. So the version of the world that everyone calls everything is at best a sixth of my perceptual bandwidth. Like, it also exists, but not in the way that you imagine it exists. I can do what I like with it because to me it's continuously fluid. So until I learned, and I had to contemplate on, once I learned that it was dyslexia was the reason for that. So other dyslexics talk about this, and dyslexic thinking is a skill on LinkedIn now after a campaign. And so I thought I was being helpful. Someone would go to me, Jonathan, this is my truth. And I go, but. And each one of those buts was me dismissing their reality.